We're doing lifting and tapping, level 2, which is 5-note patterns. This goes hand in hand with, you can put your hand like this, with the finger patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By now you should be really fast at this, because you watched the other video, right? Okay, so here's finger lifting and tapping. Again, when we're talking about putting fingers down and putting all four fingers down at the same time, you want to be able to put them down without moving your hand to go put the pinky down like most people do when we're really learning how to play the violin. So you don't want to move that hand. That's called a hand frame. And if you just pick up your fingers and put them all down, we don't want things to go around. We also don't want to have thumb high. This is thumb high, this is pinky high. We want pinky high. We want it to be straight on this side of the hand. If you go thumb high like this and try to play like that, you will get carpal tunnel at some point, depending on how long you practice and how much you're squeezing. So all of those things come into play. I go pinky high. Let's demonstrate pinky high for a second. Pinky high is when you go like this, or if you hang by the thumb. If I have my thumb like this and I'm thumb high and I try to play the violin, that messes up the tendons that go through this wrist bone, which is about that big. It's really small, and all these tendons go through there, and you line them up by being pinky high. That's why they make keyboards on a computer that go like this to help people with carpal tunnel problems. Let's not do that. Let's have our pinky high when we play. And then let's keep our hand frame in the same spot, keep our pinky round. When we lift and tap, we don't push the string into the fingerboard like we're mad. You can if you're really mad one day, but don't do it for very long because you'll get hurt. Okay, we're doing 5-note pattern, and so I'm just going to do a little bit. That's pattern number 1. I'm playing that B natural a little bit high because it's the 3rd scale degree in a G major scale. The 3rd and the 7th, you have to play just a hair high. I'm probably a little too high, but don't tell anybody. Here we go. So I go slow, fast, slow again. That's how I do basically all the finger lifting and tapping. Again, we're not pushing very hard, we're not squeezing, we're just tapping the finger down. Can you hear it? Slur a bunch of those together. It doesn't have to be just 2 of those in a group like it says in the book. You can vary that, how many you slur together. Pattern number 2. So it's this pattern. I have a whole step here and a whole step here. Remember how to play a half step? You put one finger on the other finger's fingernail and then you slide it down. Let's do it from this angle so you can see it. Tell you just one of the secrets about playing violin that not too many people know, and that has to do with how high the violin is. The violin is much lighter when you hold it just a little bit higher than I would call level. So if the strings are level with the ground, the violin is easier to hold up and play. Notice I don't use a shoulder rest. You can use a shoulder rest, doesn't matter to me, as long as you don't do this. If you're doing that, the tension increases through the hand, even though you think you might be being relaxed, it just doesn't work. You've got to keep shoulders down, both of them. So how am I holding the violin up? It actually rests on that side of the hand. You see that? So I don't have any tension in my thumb either. It's magic. Okay, this helps you get a better sound because you're pushing the violin against the bow. And it increases your coordination because you're not raising one shoulder to play the violin. Do you ever see any golfers doing this? Tennis players. Tennis players? See any tennis players playing with one shoulder up? Maybe this one? They don't do that, and we shouldn't either. It makes us so much more coordinated. So keep those shoulders down. Pattern number 2 is this one. If you can't go that fast, don't worry. Go as fast as you can, comfortably in tune, of course. Notice I have the tuning intonation CD on. Got to keep that on. Okay, so there's pattern 2, here's pattern 3. Pattern number 4. That's this one. Pattern 5. Pattern 4 and 5 aren't used that much, but they're still there. I see them every once in a while. Pattern number 6 is very common in minor scales. Or that was a little more difficult. Then you have 7, which is chromatic. You might think, where do you use chromatic scales? You use it in Fly to the Bumblebee. Right? Fly to the Bumblebee. That's chromatics. That's pattern 7. Good, and then pattern 8 is all open, all whole steps. Now, just as a reminder, the whole time I did this, I tried to go from frog to tip, just so that my right hand stays in a good habit of using the entire bow and not just part of it. If you get in a bad habit of just using part of your bow when you're doing any of these left hand exercises, you get lazy with the right hand. If you're doing that in scales, you're going to get lazy in your piece too, so try to always go frog to tip. Okay? A little extra information there. Use it. Have a good day. See you next time.